Hello guys, welcome back. Alright, so picture this. The world is already a pretty wild place, right? We've got billionaires racing to space, we're still trying to figure out how to fold a fitted sheet, and now Russia is showing up in Africa with some very, very big toys. We're talking about a new kind of missile, and they're not just showing it off. They're in talks to potentially give it to a few countries in a region called the Sahel. Specifically, we're talking about Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Now, this isn't just some casual arms deal, like selling a few extra tanks you found in the back of the Kremlin's garage. This is a major geopolitical move, the kind that makes diplomats spill their coffee and generals start drawing new lines on maps. It's like your quiet neighbor suddenly parking a monster truck on their lawn. You're not sure what it means, but you know things are about to change. What makes this so significant, you ask? So, what exactly is this oreshnik missile that has everyone talking? Let's break it down. Imagine a super fast delivery service, but instead of delivering a pizza, it delivers a massive explosion. And when I say super fast, I mean super fast. Oreshnik is a hypersonic missile. The word hypersonic basically means it travels at least 5 times the speed of sound. Think about that for a second. That's so fast that by the time you hear it coming, it's already hit its target, had a cup of tea, and posted about it on social media. This incredible speed makes it almost impossible for current missile defense systems to shoot it down. So why is Russia doing this? Why offer one of its most advanced toys to countries in the Sahel? Is Vladimir Putin just a really generous guy who loves sharing? Probably not. This is all part of a much larger, very calculated strategy. For years, Russia has been working to rebuild its influence on the world stage, and Africa is a huge part of that plan. The continent is rich in natural resources, has a young and growing population, and holds significant voting power in international bodies like the United Nations. By building strong alliances in Africa, Russia gains economic opportunities, political allies, and a strategic foothold far from its own borders. It's like a global game of risk, and Russia is making a major play for Africa. Now let's look at this from the other side. Why are the leaders of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger so eager to have these talks with Russia? It's not like they just woke up one day and decided they wanted hypersonic missiles for fun. These countries are in a really tough spot. For over a decade, they have been battling violent extremist groups linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. This fight has been incredibly difficult, costly, and has destabilized their entire societies. For years, they relied on military support from France and other Western partners, but many people on the ground felt that this partnership wasn't working. The potential arrival of oreshnik missiles in West Africa would be nothing short of a seismic shift for the security landscape of the entire continent. For the alliance of Sahel states, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, this isn't just an upgrade. It's a complete transformation of their military capabilities. Right now, their armies are primarily equipped for counterinsurgency warfare, fighting militants in small groups with rifles and pickup trucks. You can bet that this news is causing some serious heartburn in Western capitals, from Washington, D.C. to Paris and Brussels. For decades, these powers have seen the Sahel as part of their sphere of influence. They've invested billions in aid, conducted military operations, and trained local armies. And now, they're watching Russia waltz in and undo all that work with the promise of just a few missile systems. Honestly, it must feel like you've spent years building a beautiful sandcastle, only to watch the new kid on the beach show up with a fire hose. The frustration is palpable, and it's leading to a frantic reassessment of their entire Africa strategy. The primary concern for the West is the loss of influence. The Sahel is strategically important. It's a crossroads between North and Sub-Saharan Africa, and a front line in the global fight against terrorism. Let's zoom in a little closer on the two Western players who are probably losing the most sleep over this, the United States and France. For France, this is personal. As the former colonial power in the region, France has maintained deep military and political ties to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger for over 60 years. Operation Barkhane, its decade-long counter-terrorism mission, was the cornerstone of its Africa policy. Being unceremoniously kicked out of these countries was a huge blow to French prestige and a source of national embarrassment. So we've heard from the generals and the politicians. But what about the millions of ordinary people living in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger? How does this news about Russian missiles affect them? The reality is, public opinion is likely to be deeply divided and complicated. For many, after years of violence and instability, the number one priority is security. They are tired of the constant threat from extremist groups, the kidnappings, the attacks on villages, and the displacement of millions. If Russia's partnership and these new weapons can finally bring peace and stability, then many people will welcome it with open arms. To them, it doesn't matter if the flag is French, Russian, or from Mars, as long as it means their children can go to school safely. So here we are on August 15, 2025, looking at a situation in the Sahel that is incredibly complex and changing by the day. Russia's talks with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger about the oreshnik missile are far more than a simple arms deal. It's a bold stroke on the canvas of a new world order, a move that highlights the shifting allegiances and rising multipolar dynamics of the 21st century. What we are witnessing is the convergence of several powerful forces, the ambition of a resurgent Russia, the deep-seated desire for sovereignty in post-colonial Africa, and the strategic anxieties of a West struggling to adapt to its waning influence. It's a geopolitical drama with very high stakes, and the final act is yet to be written. For Russia, this is a strategic masterstroke, a way to gain influence, challenge its rivals, and open new markets, all in one fell swoop. For the leaders of the Sahel Alliance, it's a high-risk, high-reward gamble to secure their power, deter their enemies, and assert their independence on the world stage. They are betting that Russian firepower can succeed where Western partnerships have failed, delivering the stability their people crave. It is a declaration that they are ready to chart their own course, even if that course leads them into uncharted and potentially dangerous waters. The sky over West Africa is filled with clouds of uncertainty. The introduction of such a powerful weapon changes everything, and as the world watches, the people of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger wait to see whether this new partnership will be their salvation or their undoing.